This week in news, two-player Punch-Out. What's the deal with Unity? Call of Duty Stays. And Sony blocks Gamepass? Extra, hear all about
Hey guys, welcome to the Petty Podcast with a propensity for payback. I'm the Dean of Games, the Dean Slater if you're on Twitter or Twitch, and joining me is twitch.tv/LMJ the Hitman Landen. And from Twitch's Graveyard, that's Graive yard, we have Gavin.
What's up?
So I had a funny experience with my daughter this morning.
Oh,
I gotta tell you guys about. So she's wearing, she's all dressed up or whatever. I'd gotten home late, which is a whole other story I can tell if you guys want me to. But I had gotten home late from work, and I just kind of take a look at her, and I, tilt my head a little bit, and she goes, "It's long enough," talking about her shorts. And I go, "Okay, well, stand up straight and put your arms down." And she goes, "They don't measure it like that anymore." I go, "Okay, so how do they measure how short your shorts are?" She goes, "They measure it by if you bend down and you see your butt cheeks." I was like, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "Yeah. So they don't measure by fingertips anymore. They measure by butt cheeks." She goes, "Yeah."
okay.
We're going and measuring my butt cheeks.
Wow.
I highly doubt that's actually how they measure, but that was funny enough.
Okay, then.
And then I was late because I had to call the police to have them meet me at my work's parking lot.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, so you know how my wife just bought a car 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Someone smashed a cart into her bumper and dented the bumper.
Fucking assholes.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like on purpose?
I don't know if it was on purpose or not. They did not, the cop did not ask for the managers to pull cams. Although Cliff said he was going to pull cams anyway, but...
Right.
Yeah, I went to move the cart before I left because I saw it behind me and there's a car next to me and I didn't want the cart to swing out and hit the car next to me.
Yeah.
So I went to go move the cart and the dent was perfectly aligned with the cart.
Damn, dog. That's crazy.
And the cart itself was bowed out, so you could tell someone crunched it.
Damn.
Oh. Man.
So, yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
boy.
Is what things.
Yeah, really, though. Just, it doesn't help that they don't gather carts during the day, but still, like, if you see a cart and you can't park in that parking spot, guess what? Just move to another goddamn parking spot.
Well, like, I know they did collect carts during the day, but then I noticed that as we started doing it at night, they just stopped doing it altogether. Because, like, we would do it if, like, they only had, like, if they just didn't have 8 people that day, or if like, say there was just, I guess, a lot of traffic through the store and shit, and so like they couldn't keep up with all of it, and so like we would do it. It just got to the point where they just stopped doing it.
Yeah. There's literally thousands. I wouldn't say thousands, but there's like 1,000 parking spots.
There's a shitload of parking spots.
You don't have to get the absolute closest parking spot imaginable.
Right.
It's literally, the parking spots are like 3 to 5 feet wide. You can easily walk those.
I could understand.
Much farther.
I can understand if it's like the middle of the like hottest day of the year and shit. You know what I mean? Like I can understand you trying to get like the closest spot possible because you don't want to be out in that heat the entire time. But like that's early in the morning, dog. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. It's just crazy. Anyway, what has been going on with you guys? Anything fun like that?
No.
No, I just went to your house yesterday and waited on Landen for about 2 hours to find out he wasn't going to be hopping on.
Yeah, personal problems appeared up, so
yeah,
all resolved, all good. Life's happy and great, and we're here now.
Hey, man, like I told Dean yesterday, what's more important to you, your personal life or this podcast?
You're right. I should just sell all my stuff and dedicate my life to this podcast. That's what I should do. I'm going all in. It's all or nothing from here on out.
I did get to introduce Gavin to Dragon Ball Z Abridged. So.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I do like that show quite a bit.
Yeah, like it's probably not something that I would watch at my own time, but it is funny.
Yeah. He got to see the Orange Hillbilly admitted to hitting his wife moment.
He just said he beat his wife. It wasn't much of a fight.
Anyway, this is Extra Extra, your weekly gaming news podcast covering the news leading up to Sunday, August 14th, 2022. And if you like us, you can go to patreon.com/thebriefingroom. Let us get to some news. So first things first, we have a hidden multiplayer mode for Super Punch-Out discovered 28 years after it was released.
Absolutely insane.
The code was confirmed to not only work on the original SNES version, but also the version that's on Nintendo Switch Online and SNES Classic. So to access this hidden multiplayer, which was developed for, which was left in for development reasons, you have to first hit Y and B, or hold Y and B, sorry, on the player 2 controller, then hit A or start on the player 1 controller. Starts, and that's on the start screen of the game. You'll then have a menu pop up with where you can select your opponent or whatever. And then if you do that same combination on that screen, you can have the second player play as your opponent.
Yeah, that's insane. Why wouldn't any of the developers just come forward about that? I mean, somebody had to have known or tried to tell somebody. Like, how does this just now happening or being revealed? That's crazy.
It's crazy for sure, but not unheard of. Like, there was an Easter egg or something found in the original Doom just like last year or something. You remember that?
Yeah, it was like a hidden spot of some sort, right?
Yeah. And it had gone, almost 40 years without being noticed?
Long time, yeah, real long time.
Remind me, I will get to that when I get to it. But yeah, so it is very much crazy. Yeah, like I said, it was made so that way they could test out the balancing on the different opponents. And then also you could what's the word I'm looking for? And then you can choose to play as the character for this exact same reason, but like seeing instead of the move set being, depicted by AI and just hoping to get lucky, you can have the second player go through the different moves and test out balancing that way.
Ah.
So it was entirely for development. It was never intended to actually be like a multiplayer. But at the same time, if you already have it in there, I don't see why you can't do the multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, I know the game did whatever numbers when it first launched, but why would you not be promoting everything you have in that game?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Although I don't think player 1 can choose any other character other than Mac. I think it's only player 2 that gets to control, that gets to choose their character. But, Mac is the hero of the game, so.
True.
So, how about we talk about some acquisition stuff before we talk about some acquisition stuff. Applovin, or it's not Applovin, it's Applovin, like McLovin, looking to buy Unity. Unity was already looking to merge with another company, but this will put that on hold. Under the current offer by Applovin, Unity CEO John Riccitello, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, would be CEO of the combined company. And if that name somewhat, jogs your memory, Johnny Boy recently apologized for calling devs that didn't monetize their games, quote, fucking idiots.
Oh. And those were his friends, right?
It was just game devs in general that don't have in-game purchases or anything.
Wow.
And to add further context, he was also in charge of EA back when EA was doing all their shitty monetization stuff. So he's all about that anti-consumer, let's get as much money as we can.
All about that money.
About that money, man.
But yeah, so what do you think about Unity being bought by Applovin?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just see what. I mean, he's probably going to continue to be an asshole. So that's unfortunate. But
yeah. See, that's my thing. Is I don't know the details of the other deal that they were looking at, but if that deal takes him out of the CEO position, I say that's the way Unity should go. But he controls Unity, so if he wants to continue being CEO, he gets that choice.
damn.
Yeah.
I guess years of experience trumps being an asshole.
Yep. For sure. For sure. All right. You know what we love here? We love Call of Duty conversations.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
So, this comes from documents to the Brazilian government. Again, we read a story last week about Sony's comments about Call of Duty in documents to Brazilian government. Microsoft this time is the owner of the documents, and they say having Call of Duty exclusive wouldn't be profitable. Their exact quote was, regardless of how unsurprising Sony's criticism of content exclusivity is, given that PlayStation's entire strategy has been centered on exclusivity over the years, the reality is that the strategy of retaining Activision Blizzard's games by not distributing them on rival console shops would simply not be profitable for Microsoft.
I can kind of see that. Like, I'm sure they'd still make money. It's just not the money that they're wanting for what they plan on continuing to do, I assume. Because anywhere between 16 to 25 million copies every year are sold on PlayStation, I'm sure. If not more. 16 on a bad COD.
Yeah. And also, for further context, in January, Sony mentioned the next 3 games were contractually required to be on PlayStation, but Xbox soon after stated its intention to keep Call of Duty on all platforms. But yeah, no, it absolutely makes sense. That we've been talking about this. We talked about this a little last week too. Call of Duty in 2 months makes more money than any other game every single year. And even on bad Call of Duty games, they make the most money. Taking, a significant portion of the player base away, there's no guarantee that the PlayStation people that, are going to move to Xbox because Call of Duty moved.
Right.
So, eliminating that, portion of the player base then eliminates having the best-selling game year after year.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
I mean, Call of Duty is a haymaker, and they want it to stay as a haymaker. I mean, this is the thing. Now that Microsoft owns it, they can just flip the switch whenever the fuck they want. Like, we'll lose profits, but Sony should be afraid because at any moment, let's just say in a world where Xbox Games Pass is the most used thing in the entire gaming industry and nobody else is using anything but Games Pass. Well, guess what? They just flip the switch because only, they own 95% of the market for Call of Duty on Games Pass. Make it exclusive. It just makes more sense. Yeah, they have to have more of the market share before they make a decision like that. But whenever, like, if PlayStation stops selling as many consoles and PlayStation users start playing Call of Duty more on Xbox consoles or PC than PlayStation, then they can make that switch. Just flip, and then boom. And they can market that, and that would help push sales for Xbox Game Pass. And I mean, I'm assuming they'll slowly give all the incentives of why you should just play on Xbox anyways moving forward. Whether it be Games Pass, whether it be the season passes that they have, like, there's going to be so many incentives that they can constantly just push for why you should be playing Call of Duty on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. You mentioned, the season pass or whatever. I wonder if one of the things they have to incentivize Call of Duty on Game Pass is if you have Call of Duty through Game Pass, you have that season pass without any extra dinero. But then again, where do they make money then if that's the case?
I mean, true.
But that'd be it. That definitely would be an incentive for sure. Hey, you want a season pass that you don't have to pay for? Get it on Game Pass.
You want a free exclusive skin?
But yeah,
it would work.
Of exclusive skins, now they could have Master Chief and Doom Guy in Call of Duty.
They could.
Oh shit! Yeah, they could.
They could have
Get these exclusive skins on PC and Xbox. Yeah.
They could have Landen's wet dream of Gears of War and Call of Duty crossover.
Yep.
Dude, no lie. If they had Gears of War characters in Call of Duty, I'd pick up Call of Duty.
Yeah, that would be so dope.
Oh man.
Call of Duty be making big moves. You just wait. I mean, they're already working on the 2024 Call of Duty. Like, they're already in development for that. So you're looking at a huge development cycle for a Call of Duty that they're gonna really push. Black Ops has got probably a bigger name than Modern Warfare. I don't know anymore with Warzone and stuff. That might change. That might have changed. But Black Ops used to be the most notorious name for Call of Duty. So a new Black Ops game, a 4 or 5 year development cycle for zombies and a campaign and a multiplayer that's just hopefully well worked on.
Yeah, no, trust me, Black Ops is still bigger because like the only people that talk about Warzone are the people that still play Call of Duty. People who don't even play Call of Duty anymore will talk a lot about Black Ops.
True, there is a huge audience that doesn't play Call of Duty. They'll just talk about Black Ops.
I am one of those people.
Oh boy. Oh, so, yeah, I just think this whole situation, for a different reason entirely, but it reminds me of the Epic Games versus Apple lawsuit. What was it, last year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, where we find out all sorts of new things, like we found out that Sony charges, a premium to have your game cross-play. We found out that, what was it, Xbox was looking at reducing their fees that they charge developers. Still no word, though, I think, on whether or not they've actually reduced the royalty fees or whatever for publishing on their platform. But yeah, there was all sorts of crazy things that came out through that. So let's get back. The Brazil one is interesting because the whole thing is Brazilian government for something like this. They have no confidentiality. Their law allows them to publicly release documents pertaining to issues like this. So that's why we're getting so much from this. But yeah, next one, Sony blocking Gamepass.
Womp womp womp.
Again, these are documents to the Brazilian government. Xbox mentioned Sony's penchant for exclusivity in the first part of the quote I read, which was, regardless of how unsurprising Sony's criticism of content exclusivity is, given that PlayStation's entire strategy is centered around exclusivity over the years. They mentioned that before, then saying, indeed, Microsoft's ability to continue expanding Game Pass has been obstructed by Sony's desire to inhibit such growth. Sony pays for blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services. And then just about everything else in this section and the rest of the document are redacted. So what do you think of the nefarious Sony PlayStation?
I think it's just all part of business. I think it makes sense. Like, I think it might just be a twist of words, because I'm sure Microsoft will be doing the exact same thing at some point with their stuff, because PlayStation has to play catch up with their Games Pass thing, and signing certain games and then it just ended up being on Xbox Games Pass at the same time is just going to end up being a waste of money. So they're finding ways around that. So I don't know if it's necessarily a super shitty thing, but it definitely sucks. like for Xbox people, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get the business aspect of it because you don't want. It's similar to how when Disney Plus launched, all of the Disney stuff was taken off of Netflix as their contracts expired because Disney doesn't want you to watch Disney on another platform. They want you to watch it on Disney Plus.
Right.
Right.
It's similar to that where it's like if you're coming to PS Plus, you can't be on Game Pass, which would explain why when they did the relaunch of PlayStation Plus, the Persona games that were on there were no longer on there because the Persona games are coming to Game Pass.
Gotcha.
So the Sonic games were also removed, but that ended up just being because Sega wanted to have their definitive version be Sonic Origins for those games, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
It never works taking your games off of your old games off of the store for the remake. It never works. Ask Warcraft 3, ask Sonic Origins, and ask the GTA trilogy. Just stop doing it, developers.
Yeah. Move forward, move on to something else, new IPs, let's,
So, Gavin, what do you think about this whole Sony blocking Game Pass games?
Sony sounds like a little child that doesn't want anybody else to have any fun. Sounds like Sony's got main character syndrome.
Oh, man.
And don't get me wrong, I love PlayStation. I prefer PlayStation.
Yeah.
Sony's got main character syndrome, though. I don't like that.
Yeah, they, like I said, they are very much opposed to crossplay, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely ones that helped not push that forward. Eventually they did, but only because they had no choice.
Yeah. Because I realized they were just going to lose a lot of fucking, a lot of players because there was crossplay. Like, well, fuck you, I'll just go buy this shit, play with my friends up there. It's like,
Well, competition's good. I think that the more shit like this happens, the more deals Xbox has to do to, your people towards their side and PlayStation their side. And, at the end of the day, owning both will help you be, you'll just be better off with just having both while they fight over you.
Yeah. No, I want this player. No, I want this player, guys.
Yep.
Right.
Asking a divorced mom and dad, like, well, but mom said I could have it. Like, well, if mom said you could have it, you have twice as much on my side. And then the mom's like, I'm going to do twice as much as that. Like, that's what I'm looking for.
It's like, ladies, there's enough of me to go from for everybody. You don't have to fight, but continue. I'm enjoying this.
Yep.
Oh, man. New story. Veteran Resident Evil producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi has left Capcom for NetEase.
Okay.
He served as producer on Resident Evil 4, Devil May Cry 4, and Killer 7. So he spent 27 years at Capcom and began as a programmer for the original Resident Evil. He was also producer and planner on Dino Crisis franchise. His exact statement is this: "Today, August 12th, is my 50th birthday. As such, I would like to share something very special with everyone. After serving 27 years with gratitude, I have departed from Capcom on March 31st and will be officially joining NetEase as a producer. Detailed plans will be shared later, so please stay tuned. I will strive continuously to create more enjoyable entertainment experiences for everyone else at this new company in this new era. Thank you for the continued support. This is not the first time that a Japanese video game veteran has joined a Chinese company. Last year, Grasshopper Manufacture, who does the No More Heroes games, was acquired by Tencent. So yeah, what do you think about NetEase?
What is NetEase? Like, what are they about? What's going on with them?
They're very similar to Tencent. They're a Japanese company that's been acquiring video game companies and talent. They're not nearly as big as Tencent. Although I guess Tencent also does like movies and TV shows as well. So that could explain why they're not as big. But yeah, it's just a Chinese company that's been acquiring a bunch of people. I can look up what all they have. But yeah, so thoughts on Kobayashi not being there anymore?
Well, I think I see it as like he's been around for a while. He's made like these games from a while ago and some newer ones and helped out everywhere else. But inside of Capcom, I see it as like, and I'm gonna make an NBA reference here, like or even football, like Brett Favre does does his last season in a different team, last couple seasons at a different team to potentially get him a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Just trying something out. Getting a different feel for a different area, getting different creative juices flowing. After you're at a company for so long, you're trying to be creative and you might have some kind of mental block, and putting yourself in a different environment on different projects can fulfill you in different ways. And that's how I see it. I don't see it as a bad thing. Capcom's been doing pretty good. They're on an upswing for sure. They're adventuring out on different games again with the weird dino robot mech game that they're working on, and Resident Evil is doing fine, and they're working on VR stuff. And they're up-resing all their old games. And, they're doing great. They're doing great. So that's fine for him. I do want a Devil May Cry 6 though. Please fucking announce a Devil May Cry.
Okay, so just for reference, NetEase is the Chinese company that helped Bungie buy out its contract with Activision so it could leave Activision. They also own a minority stake in Quantum Dream. Looking at what all. They've had partnerships with Blizzard. Yeah, so I'm looking at games they have, which not a whole lot of recognizable ones except Diablo Immortal. They are a co-developer with Blizzard on that. They also have a Lord of the Rings game, a Tom and Jerry game, and a Harry Potter game that is in development, but no release window at all.
Lord of the Rings, huh?
Yeah.
There's a couple different. Lord of the Rings can hit pretty hard or just fly completely under the radar.
Yeah. They are because China does not allow for non-Chinese companies to publish things. They've also published the Chinese version of Minecraft, Overwatch, and EVE Online. So that's NetEase for you. So yeah, I'm still unsure about how I feel about all these companies.
Roster switch ups.
Yeah, I I'm not sure how I feel about these companies being acquired anyway, but then add to it the how should I put this? The unfortunate situation going on with China and having these Chinese companies that uh, will manipulate the property to fit with the Chinese culture in order to sell it in China, which I get. China's the biggest market in the world, but it's I don't know. I'm still unsure how I feel about that.
Yeah, we could be living in a different gaming environment 10, 15 years from now if these giant companies just keep swallowing people up.
Yeah, that's why it's up to indie developers to pick up the slack.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about indie developers. I can't wait to see some certain companies like oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna Supergiant Games. Goodness, a huge blank there for a second. Supergiant Games, like I think they're for sure going to be a AAA company in the next 10 years. I cannot wait to see what projects they have in the future. Hades
Yeah.
was probably one of my most favorite games. Transistor, oh good. Bastion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like the expansion too. Like I've mentioned before, Stardew Valley, that was made by one dude, and he has sold uh 10 million copies last I checked uh of Stardew Valley. And so yeah, now he has like actual employees and so forth. So like just seeing continued success from him and seeing how that can expand out, fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, you know what else is fascinating?
What else is fascinating?
Uh, our post show where we talk about what we've been playing, which you can catch if you are a Patreon member. We also have a pre-show discussion, which is for Patreon patrons on the silver level or above. But if you liked or didn't like this podcast, and regardless of whether you are a patron or not, make sure to do all of the things like hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and hitting the bell on youtube.com/the XofPlays. Or you could just give it a high rating on whatever podcast service you use, like Apple or Spotify. So you can find other people that like or don't like us. Be sure to tell people about the show. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow. And I brought it up before, but on patreon.com/the briefing room, you can financially support the show, get cool rewards as well. That's all from us. Take care.